The OutIn Fino is a portable electric coffee grinder that's great for traveling with OutIn portable espresso machines such as the OutIn Mino, which I reviewed a while ago. It features a minimalist yet attractive design, is easy to use and has minimal retention. Importantly, it's an electric grinder with a battery, so it doesn't require a constant power supply. Let's see how Fino works in practice. You can watch a short unboxing video of OutIn Fino on my channel. The grinder with dosing cup comes with protective case, dosing funnel, ground coffee cup lid, air blower with cleaning brush, hex key, USB-C charging cable. The OutIn Fino grinder is larger than typical manual grinders, but still quite compact and definitely very practical because it's electric. Its diameter is 7.3 centimeters and height is 19.9 centimeters. According to the specifications, the grinder weighs 690 grams, although according to my measurements, including the dosing cup, it weighs 677 grams. My Fino is Tundra Brown, but other colors are also available on the OutIn website. The grinder is very well made. It's made of food-grade plastic, aluminum, and silicone. The dosing cup is an integral part of the grinder and should be inserted during grinding. Its inner walls are made of stainless steel, which prevents coffee particles from sticking. This is a very good design decision. The bottom of the dosing cup has a silicone anti-slip pad. Additionally, a dedicated dosing funnel for the OutIn Nano or Mino baskets, as well as a ground coffee cup lid, can be screwed onto the dosing cup, allowing you to shake the coffee to break up clumps. There is a button in the center of the grinder and an LED above the button. On the back of the grinder is a USB-C charging port, protected by a silicone cap. The battery has a 1000 mAh capacity and charges in about an hour. One full charge lasted me several grinds of coffee. This isn't a constant amount. I think it will last about a week of regular use. The Fino portable grinder has an audible click adjustment, but the adjustment is actually stepless. A very satisfying solution. To pour coffee beans, rotate the contractable bean hopper counterclockwise until you hear a click. The maximum capacity is 25 grams. To close the hopper, rotate it clockwise until you hear a click. The conical burrs in this grinder are 38 mm in diameter, have 7 cores and are made of stainless steel. Hey! If you enjoyed this review, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking the video. It will help me reach a wider audience. Thank you. To check the battery status, simply press the button once. The LED will illuminate with white indicating a charge above 30%, yellow indicating a charge above 20%, and red indicating a charge below 20%. To start grinding, press the button twice, or alternatively hold it down longer. Grinding will automatically stop when the beans run out. However, if you want to stop grinding before the beans run out, press the button once while grinding. During charging, the LED glows with a soft breathing white light. Once fully charged, the LED turns solid white. After disconnecting the grinder from the charger, the LED switches off. If the Fino grinder detects a bean jam, it will attempt to self-repair. If this fails, the grinder will stop grinding and the LED will flash red 3 times. I've never experienced this, but it's covered in the user manual. If for any reason the grinding time exceeds 300 seconds, the white light will flash 3 times and the grinding will automatically stop to protect the device from overheating. I've done several retention tests, both with and without the Ross droplet technique. Surprisingly, retention is almost zero in every case. In my opinion, there's no need to use the RDT with the Fino grinder. This is likely due to the slow grinding, which significantly reduces static. I checked the ground coffee at several sample grind levels. Level 10 is the finest available. The ground coffee is very fine, but not the finest I have seen. Level 2-1 is recommended for the OutIn Mino, depending on the coffee beans used, of course. The grind is still fine. The next levels are 4-0, 7-0, and 10-0. In my test, I used the pour over at 7-0, and it was quite good. Looking at the video, you can see that the grind is bimodal. There are both finer and noticeably coarser grinds. For OutIn portable espresso machines, grinding levels of 2-1 to 3-0 are recommended. I tested the Fino grinder with a Mino portable espresso machine with several coffees. With some beans, I had to go below the recommended grind, more like 1-2, while with others, the recommended range was adequate. Therefore, it's important to set the grind level for specific beans. For OutIn Fino, the maximum dose is 12 grams, and that's what I use. I aim for a ratio of around 1 to 2.5 and an extraction time of between 25 and 30 seconds. The Fino grinder needs approximately 65 seconds to grind 12 grams of coffee for the Mino's basket. This is quite good. I think a manual grinder would take slightly less time, but require significantly more effort. After grinding the coffee, I remove the dosing cup and screw the dosing funnel and ground coffee cup lid onto it to shake the grounds. Then I unscrew the ground coffee cup lid and pour the coffee into the filter basket. Finally, I tamp down the coffee, place the basket in the Mino machine, and that's it! I can brew espresso. The extraction is stable. The espresso has a rich crema and a balanced flavor. It's not as intense and rich as a standard espresso machine and a larger dose, but for a portable solution, it's still very decent. I also tested whether this grinder would be suitable for use with a more standard espresso machine and basket. In this case, I'm using a Lelit Bianca espresso machine, a VST basket, and an 18-gram dose. Unfortunately, even at grind level 1-0, I couldn't achieve a sufficiently fine grind. There was significant channeling despite using the WDT, and I couldn't reach 9 bar pressure, resulting in too fast extraction. The situation might be slightly different with other beans, but it still means that this grinder isn't ideal for a typical espresso using a standard 58mm brew group and an 18-gram dose. The recommended range for pour over is 6-0 to 10-0, although the scale on the grinder suggests 6-0 to 8-0. In this case, I set it to 7-0. I'm using a 15-gram dose and want to achieve a ratio of 1 to 15 for this coffee. The grinding time for this coffee at a 7-0 grind level was 41 seconds. I brewed about 215 grams of coffee in 3 minutes and 11 seconds. I used a medium roast Brazilian coffee, which has nutty and cocoa notes. I think it works better in espresso, but it's also quite decent as a pour-over. To clean the Fino grinder after grinding, simply unscrew the dosing cup and clean the dosing cup, plastic parts and the bottom of the grinder with the included air blower and brush. To thoroughly clean the grinder, use the included hex key to screw counterclockwise and remove the inner burr. Be careful not to lose any components. Clean burrs and the inside of the grinder, then reinstall each component in the order shown in the video. After assembling the grinder, I checked to see if the grind adjustment works properly. As you can see, it's very smooth. In summary, I think the OutIn Fino works great with portable OutIn Espresso machines or pour-overs, especially when traveling. It's compact and the included case makes it easy to transport. However, I had trouble extracting espresso with coffee ground with this Fino grinder on my Lelit Bianca espresso machine, but this may depend on the coffee beans used. What are your thoughts on OutIn products and the Fino grinder? I encourage you to discuss in the comments section. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.